Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. And today we have Buried Secrets of the Bible with Albert Lynn. It's a National Geographic series, and it is from 2019. It's one season of two episodes. So there's basically just two buried secrets of the Bible, and you're done. There's no mystery about that book at all. So, but Albert is. There's no word also that there's going to be a second season or anything else. But Albert has tackled two, as I said, two major moments in the Bible. One of which is the parting of the Red Sea, with starring Moses and the Israelites escaping the Egyptians back in Exodus. That's where they get the name Exodus. Um, in the Old Testament. And another Old Testament story is Sodom and Gomorrah, the destruction of those cities by the hand of God. So if you grew up either Jewish or Christian, even some of these things might even be in Quran. I'm not sure because Abraham and all. Well, not Abraham, Muhammad. Anyway, uh, these are not religious or biblical um, Torah or any kind of explanations. It uses those stories as a basis and uses science to determine how such incidents could have been possible. Yes, God, but um, God created the world. If this is something you believe, it doesn't matter whether you believe this or not, whatever faith you are in, or if you don't believe in it at all. It's kind of fascinating to me. That's why I watched the entire season, all two episodes, just to check it out. So I mean, the first one is about Moses and the Red Sea, and again, like this that in the second one, it uses science to say, okay, sure, the story is that God did these things, gave Moses the power to separate the Red Sea and let the Israelites cross, and for like 30 miles apparently, and then it came crashing in on the Pharaoh's soldiers and killing them all. And Sodom and Gomorrah, well, what could it be where two cities are suddenly just obliterated and nothing can grow there for centuries as a result? And even the part where Lot's wife turns back to look at the city and she turns to a pillar of salt. How can these things be possible? Like I said, if you're going from the basis that God did it, God created the world, so God would also use the things that exist in the world or reality and make these things happen. He just wouldn't suddenly just. I mean, he could just go poof, cities blow up. But how do they blow up? Well, certain things would have to come into play, whether it's an earthquake or a meteorite or things like that. And Albert Lynn uses the technology that is at his disposal to explore these lands. He goes to these areas where all this happened. He has drones and satellites and everything else flying around and mapping out things, creating 3D models. He even uses at one point in his tablet to sort of get an AR, augmented reality view of the area. Like, oh, this is what the city must have looked like. Okay, well, you know what? I don't believe that actually. Yes, they rendered that city, but it didn't look like that on his tablet. He just made it look like it. There's a lot of showmanship in this. And Albert, he's an engaging guy. He's he knows how to deliver that kind of wow and oh yeah, that's I'm so amazed. I'm excited to be here. He's a bit of a showman, but of course, obviously, a lot of this was determined and scripted ahead of time, yeah, sure, there might be allowances for changes, but he knew he wasn't going to go all the way to the Middle East and not find anything. And it's not like he's the only explorer out there doing these things. He's worked. I mean, he's following the footsteps of many other people who've done these things, and just relating it in a more entertaining and dramatic uh, tone and environment through National Geographic and Disney Plus in this case. So yeah, he knows how to deliver a very exciting kind of what if this and oh This is, I want to find this out. He delivers it really well. So, yeah, it makes you keep watching. It's not so much. Thank God they don't pad it like most reality shows where it's like, oh, they're set up for commercials where they, well, coming up after the break, well, this will this happen? Did that happen? Well, I might see this. And then they come back from the commercial and spend, it feels like another 5 minutes going, well, we just saw this and this and this. So you end up with, 15 minutes worth of show with 30 minutes of padding. Each of these episodes, by the way, both of these episodes are 45 minutes each. So it flows pretty quickly, pretty easily. If you're into this kind of stuff, yeah, this is interesting. This is kind of a. It's not here to disprove God didn't do this. It's not here to prove that God totally did it. It's not that at all. There's some people I noticed when I looked at IMDb to make sure I got some things correct, and to see, we've seen Albert Lynn before, the Mayan Treasures, Lost Mayan Treasures, National Geographic special. He was the host of that. We saw that a couple months ago on Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, so you can check that one out as well. But there's a guy giving him a 1-star review to this show because, well, this is the way the Bible says it, and this is the way the Bible, it couldn't be this, and it couldn't be the Reed Sea. It's definitely the Red Sea. Calm down, dude. Nobody's here to shake your faith. Nobody's gonna say, hey, God is dead. God isn't real. It's saying, look, based on these stories, and again, stories are not stories that are based on reality are not created before the events that happen. Many times, especially when it comes to the Bible, there wasn't written word. For many years, it's passed down by word of mouth. It's traveled down through generations of storytelling, and some things get changed and combined. And okay, it's okay. We don't know for sure. Yes, have your faith. That's great. Nobody's just disputing that. It's just the idea that some stories might be exaggerated, some might be combined. A lot of these things might not have happened exactly in the place you saw them in your English translated version of the Bible. Some, if you look back at the original translations of these stories, and again, these stories also come from word of mouth for things that had happened centuries, maybe even an eon beforehand, and go, oh yeah, parting of the Red Sea. It's spread a mile wide, and everybody had to trek across the to the other side for 30 miles, like 1 million people or something like that, and then somehow get lost in the desert for 40 years. Okay? You pick a great crossing point there, Moses, but seriously, your direction skills suck. Either way, it's the idea. It's a big desert, but it's not that big. 40 years? Seriously, you're going to hit something at some point. But the point is, it's there's no, Albert doesn't take this, it doesn't present this in a humorous way or a negative way or anything else. He's there to ask the questions like, how could this have happened? How might this have happened? And how does this maybe different from, how is this maybe presented differently than what, using the knowledge we have, using the science we have that they didn't have back then, we can definitively see if maybe it was a meteorite explosion in midair that literally just blew everything to bits in those cities and incinerated people instantly. Don't know. It could have been an earthquake involving in a totally different area near the Dead Sea, where salt and sulfur, just who knows what, when it comes to the instability of the materials they use, it just creates a cataclysmic mess. It's an apocalypse story. It's a precursor to the New Testament apocalypse story, in many ways, where we're just running for our lives from the destruction of the things we've created, these great cities of sin. So, yeah, don't expect any New Testament mumbo jumbo in that. Don't take offense at mumbo jumbo. Um, it's fully Old Testament stuff, and maybe there'll be a second season someday. This was from 2019. Maybe he was out doing his thing, and they just stopped when Corona hit, and he just stayed home for a while. So I don't know. It's for people who love these kind of explorations and asking these questions and going, how could that have happened? Maybe it's mythology, maybe it's not mythology, and if it's not mythology, how could it have a whole happened? And this is a fun way to explore that. And there's nothing wrong with asking the questions. So let's pick tomorrow's episode. Here we go.
586.
586. Oh, 586. We might be in the thes still. Ha! Okay. All right, well, I think we've seen the older version of this, the original. We're going to see the 1998 version of this Disney classic. Oh, we're going to trap the parents in The Parent Trap 1998. All right. So, The Parent Trap from 1998 on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.